Okay, Kumlan and a block Gemara. We are up to the pay hey on the base, the very bottom of the page. The two dots. By the way, Rabbi Lozman Azariah said that remember the Aveda ben Odom Lachavera, you have to appease your friend, ben Odom Lamok the Eibishter, and Rabbi Kiva that comes along and says that Yom Kippur is all about Ashreichem Yisrael, Lifnei Hashem Titoru, and the Avedas between us and the Eibishter, Yom Kippur is Mechaper. So some of us want to say that Rabbi Kiva actually is arguing Rabbi Lozman Azariah. According to Rabbi Lozman Azariah, that if you don't appease your friend, not only won't you be forgiven for being Adon Chaveda, you won't even be forgiven for being Adon Lamakam either, until you take care of the Chaveda. And Rabbi Kiva argues, and he says that each thing is independent. That's what some want to say, which is difficult to say because understand because it says Amar Rabbi Akiva. If Amar Akiva means saying like a new thing. Anyway, others want to say that Rabbi Kiva is saying is that you're not, that in Adam Lechaveda, you will not be forgiven until you also ask the Eibusher for forgiveness on that as well. Anyway, as we said, Sheikh Yisrael, remember, Lifnei Hashem Titon. So even Ben Adam Lechaveda, after you appease him, before Yom Kippur, on Yom Kippur, you ask for chiluk for what you did Ben Adam Lechaveda as well. It's not just Ben Adam Lechaveda and separate. That's it. Exactly. You still need tshuva for that. But the Gemara 4 lines at the bottom, tshuva mechaperes al avedas kalas al asay ba'loises. Tshuva helps on its own. On these avedas, hashta loisel chayda. Loises mechaperes al asay mebayev mechaper and loises with the punishment more severe. Then surely is mechaper and loises. And the Alter explains that asay actually is more common than a loises. That asay you bring down oid into the world, and so on. And he gives a true in the beginning. But in punishment wise, loises says worse than asay. I'm going to read a hachik comment. I'll say the aloises shenited lasay, and any loises which is similar to asay, for that the tshuva alone is mechaper. But aloises say gamaloi very much. What about aloises where you get malchus? But tshuva alone is not mechaper. But a minul as a question it says eluhein. It says but I say eluhein kalus. What's considered a lenient mitzvah asay veloisas chutz? The only exception is meloisisa. The third commandment: don't swear the Abish's name there in vain and false. That, because it says in Lo Yenaka, that's stricter. So it sounds like all loisas are included in the tshuva alone as mechaper. Loisisa, no. Loisisa, behold the dummy lo. Loisisa, and anything similar, any aveda that you get, malchus, or real loisisa, that tshuva alone is not mechaper. You need also Yom Kippur to come along and to be mechaper. Toshbak Amir says, kosher loisisa lamata, it says in the Braisa, anything which is loisisa and below tshuva mechaperes. Including Leisis and Lamailas, Yom Kippur. So again, the same question. It sounds like all Leisis are included in Tshuva alone. Tomorrow says no. Leisis Sisa v'cholded damila. All other Leisis and Gomer are similar to Leisis. It said by the Maisa Egel. Tshuva. It says that Tshuva and says the Venake. It says in the pasuk over there. It says Venake lo Yenake. Quite good. I went over the bun and so on. Is Yochel Af Leisisa Iman? I would have thought the first it says Venake, that he will forgive. So I would have thought Leisis included as well will be forgiven. By Leisis it says Lo Yenak Hashem, those who swear in his name false. Yochol Av Shari Chayav Lavan Kenin Chayav Lavan Kenin, all other Lavan also they won't forgive. It says in the pasuk there, Abishur will not forgive those who swear in Shmoi, his name, Lashon. Is Shmoi then Menaka? Menaka Shachaya will love him, but he's Menaka all Lavin. Sounds like all Lavin Shuv alone also will work. You don't need to wait for Yom Kippur. But you're right, Tanoi. So Machlek is Tanoi. So this Braisa here seems to learn about that Shuv alone Mechapet. The time you learned, I'm not Shuv Mechaperes. What Shuv Mechaper Allah say? But Allah says say. You see, this second Braisa here says clearly, Allah says you got to wait for Yom Kippur. And the first Braisa, you're right. But Lo Yenaka there holds that what? That's Menaka Shar Chayav Elavin, even though it's a Leisis Gomer. You start on the same course as by Egel. It says in the pasuk Venake Minola. How do you know that Tanya it says Ef Shaleim Nake? You can't say Israel will forgive. It says Lo Yenaka. It says Venake Lo Yenaka. So it says well, he won't forgive. Ef Shaleim Lo Yenaka It says already he will forgive. Okay, it says Venake Lo Yenaka. Which one is it? If you do tshuva, he'll forgive you. And if you don't do tshuva, he won't. You have to do tshuva. Shol Rab Masya, this is the beginning verse of tshuva. Shol Rab Masya ben Chedesh is Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Beremi. Rab Masya ben Chedesh asked Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah in Rome. Shamat, did you hear Arba Chaluke Kapara Shahay Rabbi Shmuel Daidish? Did you hear the 4 different levels of Kapara that Rabbi Shmuel used to darshan? Omar, he says, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah answered back, Shloishay. There are only 3. The tshuva is with each one of them. And I'll tell you what they are. Over Allah say, Vishav, a guy didn't even say, and he did tshuva. Einu zoz misham adshem leichin lei. You will not, you always do the tshuva, and that's it. Shenema says, tshuva bana shavim. Come back to me, you wild ones. Over aloisase, if you were over aloisase, also to the tshuva taila the Yom Kippurim mechaper. You need a Yom Kippur as well. Shenema says, kibayim lechaper leichem kol chat v'sech. Like it says in the Mishnah. On this day, he'll forgive you. Avar al krisis or Mrs. Bezdin, if he did a much severe aveda, but also tshuva the Yom Kippurim tailin, they mitigate the punishment. But the Yisurim and marking, Yisurim marking complete. Now it says, "Ufakarati b'shevet pisham uvenegoyim aveinam." I remember b'shevet with a stick, a rod, pisham and goyim have to get punished. If somebody does a chil Hashem, and actually teaches chil Hashem means chaytu machtas arabim, because others learn from you, they emulate. As Gemara can give us some examples. Ein loy kayer but shuva little shuva doesn't do it. V'loy kabin lechapping and keep it kabin lechappe. V'loy be certain lemadi, certain cannot cleanse you and expunge all that. Ela kulan tailin. They all mitigate a little bit. But misa mamadak, it's only misa that takes care of it. And it says the pasuk there. The nigla of Ozna Hashem tzvakas, im yechuper oven azelechem, we will forgive you ad temusim until you die. Famous question here that everybody asks. It's a beautiful sichel that I've got a chance to look at it in Achrei. I think it's in the first Yiddish, whatever. Well, Yudzayin, whatever it is there. There's 4 here. He just said about there's 3. There's 4. There's 4. There's tshuva, there's Yom Kippur, there's Yisurin, and there's Misas. There's 4, not 3. So the Mashah answers tshuva doesn't count because tshuva is with each one. So with each one comes out according to Mashah. There's really no machlekes between a Masya and a Shmuel and a Abelazar and Azariah. It's just a question what you counting. Shmuel did count tshuva and Abelazar as a separate, but otherwise, so what's the big deal? What are they arguing then? Very difficult to understand. Then you have the Baal HaKeidah that brings down, and he says that we do not count Chil Hashem because Chil Hashem is only after Misa. Chil Hashem is only after Misa. We're talking about a kapara while you're alive. Mashenki Rabbi Shmuel does count Chil Hashem. Now, the Rebbe points out there that if you look in Tanya, Alter Rebbe, he brings down, he doesn't bring down Chil Hashem. He doesn't say, it says Akal Shreina Braisa. It doesn't say V'chulu. Doesn't even bring it down. So he explained, the Rebbe explains very nicely that there's 2 parts of tshuva. There's the mitzvah, and then there's the outcome. The mitzvah tshuva is purely as if, what are you going to do with yourself from now on? So the past is irrelevant. You can't live in the past. You got to live in the future. The mitzvah is to go forward. So now, as if as a chait, kabbalah haba. Then there's the outcome. You want to be mechaper everything in the past. That's what Rabbi Elazar says tshuva is. So therefore, Chil Hashem, even though that misa is a tshuva, but it doesn't help for the future. It's only about the past, only about the outcome, and therefore it doesn't fall under the gather of tshuva. Mashengi Rabbi Shmuel held that this is that tshuva. It doesn't mean only as if it's a chait. It's all part of the tshuva, and therefore he counts it as one of the things. And a beautiful thing that Rabbi learned. Okay, right.
Yesterday we mentioned in the Mishnah how the memory of Rabbi Kiva fits in. You said there's a hadith of the Rebbe Meir.
Yes, in the same chelik. It's a beautiful sikha. The Rebbe attaches the end of the Masechta, the beginning of the Masechta. Why? The Rebbe wants to know this din that Beisei Ishto that a Kohen Gadol has to be married. Is that a din in Yom Kippur or a din in Kohen Gadol? Is it din in the person that the person has to be in the highest madrega and you're only in the highest madrega when you're married, or is it din in Yom Kippur? Yom Kippur is the holiest day, and the holiest day you have to have people who are married to be involved. And the Rebbe then says the pasuk doesn't say ad ishto, it says ad beisei. So the Torah is telling you that the main function, or that we're going way beyond just being talking about as a person. He sees this is his family, not just as a person. And therefore, Rabbi Akiva finishes the Masechta. What's Rabbi Akiva adding to Rabbi Mosiah? He's saying you're talking about Yom Kippur. Using Kol Chat Seichem Lifnei Hashem Torah, talking about Yom Kippur. I'm saying Ashreichem Yisrael. What happens in Yom Kippur is not just the day is holy, but it brings out the kedusha of every single yid, which is just like the beginning of the Masechta about the Kohen Gadol. Why he has to be married is not a din in Yom Kippur. It's in the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol has to be in the supreme, in the highest madrega. For every yid. Yeah, actually, it's a beautiful thing from the Rebbe.
The Mishnah talks about tshuva, and the end he's talking about tumatara. It's a whole different ballgame.
The tumatara means it's all part of getting rid of Mavedas. That's what means tara. Mikveh Yisrael. So Mavedas. But we mean here Mavedas. Okay, talking about what's Chil Hashem. Hey, okay, what's the name of Chil Hashem? Mean all of it. Chil Hashem is for a person. But everything is relative, depending who you are. It says Ram, the holy you are, the greater Chil Hashem, and the smallest thing. Going on, Isha kill the beast in the town. If I take place from a butcher, well, even the main I'll pay him straight away. That's the Chil Hashem. And interesting, Rashi says the Chil Hashem is not that. You know, if you learn Gemara's Pashup Shad, you think other people observing, they see you taking place without paying. They think, oh, I can take place without paying. Rashi says, oh, it's the butcher himself. The butcher thinks he's never going to pay. The butcher, I'm allowed to steal myself. It's a modern shot. Why you say about that the butcher should be a mezalzel gezel? Why he going to push up shot that people watching? I don't know.
Maybe because the butcher's going to affect the whole stock. If he starts,
I'm in the store and I see guys taking place without paying. What do I think? Oh, that's for free.
If the butcher himself is going to start mucking around with was Mator and was Mator nished.
You don't pay him. Why are the butcher more susceptible?
Yeah, it's that way. The whole town is now paying a price. What happened in Monson when the butcher started taking?
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's talking about here. I will learn from the butcher's going to learn from the rab that you can steal. That's what he's saying here. The butcher will learn from a rab that you're allowed to steal. He's not paying me. I can steal from others. Is that what the butcher will do? The butcher will be breakers over there. He'll chase after my money back. Anyway, I don't know.
No, but what he's saying using
so why only the butcher? Why everyone else standing in that store sees what's going on? They see you're an important person taking flesh without paying. What do they think? I can steal. Why the butcher?
The butcher's the only one who's
He's the only butcher. The only one knows that you're going to pay him. You're going to pay him tomorrow. The butcher knows. He knows your address. He knows where to find you.
Anyone else is in the store. The butcher is there. So the body of Hashem. The butcher we know for sure. He's there.
Okay.
Everyone else in the town, who says they went to buy meat that day?
Okay. I'm going to buy in a place where people generally don't pay on credit. To buy less than a place where the butcher goes around collecting his credit. There's no problem. But if it be everybody else, the same thing. They know that people pay on credit. They don't think the guy stole. They think the guy will write it down. Like there are some stores that take credit. They write it down how much you owe, and eventually give you a dimmer. Did you have people buying credit and then? But it happens. Imagine
when I went into business, so my brother had the
Chef
in Sydney.
The butcher shop.
He took me aside and he showed me a filing cards box. Back in the days, remember before computers we had filing cards? And he said, "What's that?" I said, "It's a box of index cards." He said, "No, it's not. It's $56,000." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Open up. Look, Mrs. Pliny is $1,000. Mrs. Pliny $650. This one, that one, that one." He says, "Don't tell me what's that. It's only going to lead to service." And then you call them up and say, "Can you pack it out so much? It's not possible. How can I? You signed on the what? Not possible."
I'm going to buy good advice. I'm going to buy some buy Elisha. I know what about it later. Buy about it. Buy listen. I'm going to be no Muslim Chasi. My city Chasi. I said to buy was just everyone's on credit, so no problem. I buy you get a chocolate piece. Listen to this. I buy you when he would buy meat. With today's shutzer from two partners. Yov Zuzah Lahai, Zuzah Lahai. He would pay each partner separately $1, but it cost more than $2. And then the big catalog of them have a whole meeting, bring them both together, and I paid you $1, I paid you $1. In case so the partners don't talk to each other, he doesn't want each other to be chayshes, whatever it is. Yechon says, I know them sometimes I walk around with 4 arms outside the door because they're sick, but people don't know that. And they'll think, oh, you don't have to wear clothes all the time. So therefore, he'd be very careful.
These are all bringing examples of how they themselves are
but relative to their standing in the community, for us, this wouldn't be a problem. But for them, if they hear rumors, if they would hear about you, they would say, "Oh, that's a chil Hashem." So that means that's a chil Hashem. Abaye said. Abaye said, we learned Abaye says that from your behavior, people just say, what a kiddush Hashem! How wonderful is a frum person. You understand the svadas behind all the mishnahs. As you deal very calmly with people, imabrius and mention. And you're more than a bris. Mahabris, what do people say about you? Ashrei Ovim Shalim, they try to praise with the parents. Ashrei Rabbish Lam, they try to praise with the teachers. Oilam Labrish Lam, they try to look, and everyone else doesn't behave this way because they don't learn Torah. Plainy Shalom, Torah, oh, come on, look how beautiful his ways are. Come on, Sakani myself. Exactly how fixed up all of our Kosovo. But the Abisha says regarding such a person that's Kiddush Hashem, you're my knet, you're my servant. Yisrael Ashbachas Param. So, but I take pride in you. I will meet a koide b'shein b'chom. He's talking to come chacham over the ein masay matan b'munah. He's not doesn't handle ernst. He's not his integrity is questionable. The ein di bude benachel b'ris. He's not a bude ma b'ris I'm love. Oy le plani shalom matayda. Oy le avim shalom matayda. What was it? The person that their parents taught him. Oy le rabbi that made him worse. Plani shalom matayda ru kama mikol kol ma'isel kama chor and drachal. Terrible his ways. How often do you hear people saying? Yeah, exactly. All of a cosmimer.
This is a positive side. I'm sure that his father and son can learn from the mother and start thinking one of them to mother can do it's a good thing because at least the mother doesn't cough.
True. That's true. Wait it. Ba'amalahem, the Abisha says, Am Hashem Eila Arzi. So they left my country, they left my land, they don't behave the way it should. Truth is so great, it brings the cures to the world. It says in the Pasuk, Elpa Meshuvasam, I have them, I love them. It says, Elpa Meshuvasam, by Tshuva, I heal them. It says, Shuva Bonushavim, come back to me, the Mikara. Shavim at you're wild, and then it says Erpa Mishavaisim. It sounds like you're wild, and now you did tshuva, it's wiped away, you're no longer wild. Another pasuk says Erpa Mishavaisim, I will cure you, which whenever you cure somebody, seems from here, there's always a little residue left. That means it's not totally, you don't have a total clean slate. The first one says Shubana Shaiva means gone. I'm always you are Shaivim. Today he looks a whole new person. But when it comes to the pasuk, Erpa Mishavosechem sounds like there's still a little residue left of that of your past. Like Kasha Kamala Kamiyama, but it's all gone. Clean slate, Meter it isn't. If you don't make sense of Shubana Shaiva, no pasuk says he puts them together. I'm your balabas. Well, Kachti Eschem Echem Meir, you're my Evid. I take you from a city, Shnai Mishpacha, to Mishpacha. In one pasuk it says Shuva Boni, you're my children. Oh, but you're my Evid. Like Kasha, come out of me. If you do have Shuva Ma'avad, you're my Boni. Can I do you do because you have no breda? Then you're like my Evid. Amar Rabbi Levi, Gdol Shuva Shmagal Kid Coverage. Shuva so great to reach the Kid Coverage. And it says Shuva so Ad Havai Lekecha Kisha Shalto. Amar Rabbi Yechim says Gdol Shuva should Deichel Loiser B'Torah. Shuva can even push away a Loiser in the Torah. It says. It says in the pasuk, Yishalach Ishes Ishtoi. The Abisha says, if a person's, you want to know how great I am? The Abisha says, when a person is married to a woman and then he divorces, and this woman then marries another man. Does the original husband take it back? No. The land of theirs is coming all that. You guys went and you left me and you married other gods, and yet I'm taking you back. No, but Tshuva, it pushes away the loisesa of not taking back your former wife if she married her. It's the loisesa of taking back.
So great.
Okay, good question. And the reason is because Tshuva, ask about it. I'll tell you what the word is. I'll tell you what it is.
Relationship between the
husband and wife.
Yeah, that's right. It's emotional husband and wife. Because
The whole shit of shit is that way.
What?
The whole shit of shit is that way.
the issue is because the case once she gets married, you can't, if a woman gets divorced, she stays alone. She can go back. She can go back to her husband. But if she got remarried to somebody, then the first husband can't take her back.
I want you to talk about an abused wife syndrome. An abused wife, the whole world realizes you can't be together. When in fact, your mother talks about it. Who forced the husband to divorce, so take care of her. We're been an abused wife for the last 2,000 years, and we have left the Eibishter. So maybe take, you got to do your chayvus as well. Like his mother says, a husband and wife, well, look at Mark Suba, haven't paid it.
It's a different thing. The different things. The abuse wife.
Don't find the Eibishter.
No.
We don't have long gullus. Exactly. Don't be able to. We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be in gullus. I'm going to be innocent. Tshuva is greater, they're pretty close to English, but it says, why is Tzion coming, and why is the Goyal coming to Tzion? Because Shaveh Pesha B'Yakov, we did Tshuva. The Shlokish said, it's amazing, the Shlokish is probably the Amoida who has more Agadata than the other Amoida. It's Rachas. That's true. But Agadata, the Shlokish is everywhere. First he says this Shuvah like Shkogish never says Shuvi Solavai Lekech Ki Chashalta Babenecha. Abenecha a long time ago was mazed and says Chashalta, you stumble. In other words, it's shagig. Ha'aben Mezer v'kagarli Mirshul. The Rai it became a shagig. Any stumbled. Any Bamarish Lagish Gedoyle Chuvish is doing as Zachias. The same Rish Lakish said if a kid that's like Zachias. It says the Shuvah Rosh B'Dishosei v'Asa Mishpat was Doka Aleihem U'Yichem. So it sounds like what? That's like Doka that everything is positive. Like Kasha, Kamava Kamayida. If you do Ma'ava, then all the mystical. The famous Ma'aser once came to a guy who wanted to inspire him to do tshuva. He said to him, "I'm a kana you." He said, "I'm a kana you. I work a whole lifetime to do mitzvahs, and why do I have a certain amount of mitzvahs? You did so many avedas. You do tshuva Ma'ava now. You'll be ahead of me." So the guy said to Rabbi Yisrael, "You're right. I'll wait another couple of years. I'll be more ahead of you." Lengthens the person's life. It never says, the pasuk is he will live longer. I'm going to be different. Irritate your friend, but you told him something, misspice him, you know that it will be Michael. You tell him misspice him, misspice body, question whether words will do. He'll just appease straight away, just words. And it says, just say a few words, and the Abish will accept your true. It says, Agres and Dank. And then it says, the Abish gives you thanks. He could put him as if he broke Kabbanish. And it says, just without words. So saying already, you bring Purim. It's as if we brought the things that we had to. As if you brought me generous, you were generous, you're so kind that you asked Mechila. The Eibusher feels indebted to us. So one person, the tshuva, the entire world will be I'm no longer angry. I withdrew my anger from that person is singular. How do you know somebody's real about tshuva? We know when it comes to Eidos, we know what considered a guy's about tshuva. We can accept his Eidos again if he's tempted with the same situation with money, with treif over there, and so on. But how you know about tshuva? The same Aveda comes back to him again and again. And he doesn't do it. He's not tempted. Not he doesn't do other Vedas. The very same temptation that you succumb to in the first place, if it comes back to you, what happens? Yehuda showed that we're talking about it has to be the same woman. If you were nichshul with a woman, not another woman, it should be the same woman, the same situation and the same time and the same place, and see if you're tempted again or not. If you could withstand it, that's about shuvah. Yet we say that about Shuvah shouldn't say Efshi Yavomai by Chazir. Remember Rashi says it. Tzadi can say Efshi Amakli Chazir, but they told me not to. But about Shuvah shouldn't say it. Here he's saying that in order to be about Shuvah, you have to put yourself in the same situation and resist it. we normally say about Shuvah should not put himself in the same situation, and he should go to the other extreme, and he should not test the waters. So maybe it's not saying that you should go ahead and do this test. We're saying this is Lapoil. If it happened, then you know for yourself you did a tshuva. You shouldn't go put yourself in that situation. I'm going to do the Ramik. See, it says praise with the person that covers over his sins. You cover over his sins, you hide him. Before everybody knows about it, then you should openly confess. Don't tell anybody. It'll be a chil Hashem. This for me, he did it. We don't know you did a Veda. You tell everybody that you ate today for you. So then it's a chil Hashem. Because people say, oh, if he could do it, why can't I do it? So no, and keep it secret. And as between you and the Eibishter. The person doesn't have once, even 3 times, because a mu'id, the 4th time already, is a mu'id. And it says, but the 4th time, that's it, no more. But it says in positive. But hey, this now we bring another passage to the same point. This was done by the Eibishter Pamayim Sholosh Im Geva. 2 or 3 times the Eibishter forgives. What do you know another eye for? Only if you do Aved as a public, it will forgive you the 4th time. But if you do it individually, maybe even the 4th time, the Eibishter will forgive you. Even alone with you, 2 or 3 times the Eibishter will be Michael. The 4th time is not Michael. If you already confessed to Avedis, and when you keep it, don't repeat next and keep it the same Avedis again. Talk about it. If you did the Avedis the same, if you did Avedis, you're not repeating. You're not talking about the history. You're talking about what happened this year. But if he did not commit the same Aveda again, but you don't feel that you were totally forgiven last Yom Kippur, so you want to. It was a big Aveda, and you want to ask the next Yom Kippur again for the same Aveda that you asked Mechila last year. Because like a dog that repeats his vomit. So a fool repeats his iniquities. If it still bothers you and it irks you, you committed an Aveda 2 years ago, and you want to again ask the Chilas and keep it faked. Meshubach. It says, "Keep shoyani eda v'chatasi neged samid." I have a sin in front of my eyes always. Chassidus has different types of person neged samid. Not for now. Elamani mekayim b'kakela shokay like a dog. So what do we teach the dog who rolls in his vomit? If a person and repeats it, it becomes mutter. We had this a few times in class. Yeah, exactly. Who do you are you allowed to do it? Says the Gemara, no. Like you had to feel like that. So you have to itemize your sin. It says, Moshe said that they committed a terrible sin. And they go, so you know, he itemized, he highlighted the sin. I sinned. He highlighted the sin. Even if you did it, people said, you shouldn't highlight your sins. So why in order to say you made them gods of gold? He wasn't confessing; he was blaming the Eibishter for it. He gave Eden a bountiful amount of gold and silver. And they had enough. It's your fault. You gave them too much. You spoiled them. Eden had 2 leaders, Moshe and David. Moshe said, "Hey, do me a favor, whenever you write my Aveda, please write. Whenever you write my punishment, please tag to it the cause of it." It says, because he didn't have by memory, he didn't go ahead and make a kiddush Hashem. David says, "Al yichtiv do me a favor. Don't tell everybody what I did." It says, better to hide it. Marshal the Moshe why Moshe requested to be mentioned, he didn't. The 2 women, Shaloku bebezdin, 2 women that both got punished in the bezdin. Achas kilkula, achas ochla pagashvias.
So because of what the Eibishter told Moshe, was the Eibishter is masking to Moshe what you did, and therefore he can't come back to.
There was a tefillah to Moshe. Moshe Ben saying here, it's asked Eibishter tefillah to me a favor. Whenever you're writing the tefillah about me, I'm not going to say, "Oh, write the reason why." Why? You more explain why in a second.
Did we have this discussion?
No.
We
had more brachos. A little bit, yeah.
What he's saying is that what the Eibishter is saying to Moshe, Yana Shalom Amantabi, is really what Moshe asked the Rebbeinu to keep reminding.
Exactly.
But we don't have that actual plea.
No,
we don't have the plea open.
Yeah, Amerlan, Ois, and Shachla Pagashri. No, so you have two people. You had in the same time. You have one person who was Makalku Arroyus, another person who ate Shemitah after this amount of beer, and they both got punished in the bezin. The person, the Pagashri, said, "Do me a favor, tell everybody why I'm getting punished." Everybody they'll think the same thing. Eden didn't go in because of Ma'aseh Baraglim. I don't want people to say that Moshe and Aaron didn't go in because of Ma'aseh Baraglim. Tell people because of the Meimer. Don't think that we get punished. The same thing. Heavy Pagishri, the Talib Savar, they did was they took Pagishri and they hung it up the turnips and they hung around the neck. Where you they announced before behind you. Now Shri is he like what was on the sheet. She came out with the Shri. Yeah. The farce mean as a Hanofin Mipnei Hashem. Somebody who is who tries to hunt for tzvuyin. We have more tzvuyin. He's zorum and not tzvuyin. Those are the most dangerous people. They're chitzonius. I know outside of a facade they make it appear like they're on the place, but internally they're not. A real hypocrite. So if you see a hypocrite, tell the world that this person is not who he appears to be, because otherwise people will learn from him how to behave. It says the pasuk when he comes back and said I'm going to make sure that I put a stomach block in front of him so people know who he is. He says the tshuva of a complete Russia who is already sentenced to whatever does tshuva, it will delay the punishment. Even though it was nothing zadin. We'll have others. If you can change, once it was nechtem, once it was nechtem, can you still change it? Bichlik says everything can be changed through tzaka, through davening with your heart. So this Gemara either goes according to that, or according to the other one, at least it delays it. When the Shayim are peaceful and they're having a good time, it can only bring tzaddas in the world. Because they sit there and they're thinking all kinds of aveda scheming. The haroshas mekaberes is by love. If you get involved in leadership, Rashi says rabbanos. Rashi usually means government. Rashi says rabbanos. Yeah, in Pirkei Avos. But Rashi mekaberes is by love. It completely buries its people. Arum nichnas and it's very interesting. Arum nichnas but arum yatzer menu, because you go in the naked, you don't become rich by becoming a rabbi, and if you go in with nothing and you leave with nothing. Ulavai and halavai that I leave there without any avedas like when I got in there. Rav Kevin nothing made in dinner whenever we went to Bezdin. Omar Hoch, this is what he used to say. The Tzavin Nashatullah, I voluntarily going to get killed. Remember when Moshe Hedges like a sword, the Abish's sword is standing over the Bezdin telling you if you the paskin falsely, whatever it is, you're gonna get killed. So I'm voluntarily going to get killed. I'm not doing anything for my family. I'm not making any money. I come back with nothing. Rashi says you don't come back with any money. Rashi on the next page. He says you don't come back with any money.
You're not taking with you.
No, you don't bring it home. You don't get paid as a dayan. Rashi says, look at Rashi's 2 lines at the top. So basically, as much I work, it wasn't like today's dayanim, which charge an absolute fortune. They could never get a job. These dayanim, half of them. Rashi garnished. Even but you're allowed to take. We have in Ksubas that you're allowed to take charbatola. But charbatola means literally what else you could have done. Not to take charge like a little bull. Don't know what had to that. Well, Lavai should hey be a kiyitzir. Now Lavai, when I leave the bezin, I should be as innocent as when I got in the first place. And Robert just finished it. Robert came another day when he went to that didn't tell you Omar said the same thing. But Tzavin actually told Nafik, I'm going out there voluntarily, but Tzavin basically less I don't bring anything home from my family, but they can like come home empty handed. The Lavai should hey be a kiyitzir. A Lavai that I should come home with innocent the way I left. Interesting what Rashi decides to touch all this in the second in Robert.